All right, everyone. So let's continue. Welcome to this session or new session. Introduction to PCI DSS and software standard. First, the PCI Software Security Framework (SSL) include guidelines like secure software standard and secure software lifecycle standard. Remember, I think we briefly spoke on this when we talk on developing those applications. At the end of the day, we make mention of secure code review. But the CCF, that's a secure PCI secure software framework. First, it's developed by PCI DSI Security Standard Council. It's a set of guidelines designed to ensure that payment software meets security development practices. These practices are essential within cardholder data environment, which is the part of an organization system that handles sensitive cardholder data, such as payment information. The CCF framework ensures that software used in this environment follow rigorous security standards to safeguard data from malicious actors. It encompasses two main standards. Remember, this is something that by now you guys know already. We've talked so much on secure code review. It's not all about security. We also may mention this, also highlighting or highlight or straight or a laid emphasis on also the privacy aspect, right? And remember, all the software are gonna be developed by developers, but do you also resolve, you scan, you like make sure you implement best security practices, improve validations, eliminate SQL injections, just to eliminate application related vulnerabilities. In a nutshell, that's what we are trying to discuss here, right? The secure software standard, this defines the security requirements that payment software must meet to ensure that it is developed using secure practices. Okay, and the life cycle, this outline has software vendors must manage security throughout the entire life cycle of the software from design through development, testing, and maintenance. So now I'm even thinking, I think I want to do a video on like, the different stage. I know they have to do integration, what really happened. I think that should be a video I should have in mind. That way you guys can see in real life how some of these just be able to assimilate or put things together, right? But it just has to do with, again, best security practices, ensuring that, again, just eliminate application related vulnerabilities, just implement best security practices. And that's why they said that a payment software vendor such as point of sale system, remember right now we know POPs, right? Provider develop their software using the secure software standards. They have to follow that guideline to develop that software, ensuring that the software is resistant to common vulnerabilities like SQL injection or cross-site scripting. This protects the system from threats that could compromise cardholder data. So you don't just go and build any kind of stuff without testing. I was like, you know what? This is my POP system. You guys can use it. No, you have to follow their standard. You have to follow the guideline as mandated by, the PCI DSS or the CCF, right? But let's talk about importance of compliance. Compliance with PCI DSS and the software standard set by PCI CCF is critical for maintaining the confidentiality as well as integrity of payment transaction. Meeting this standard provide assurance to customers, financial institutions, and other stakeholders that payment software has been developed using secure practices and has been tested against non-vulnerabilities. Come to think of all the different merchants that will rely for you to provide, for example, just POP system. Imagine not even following the standard and think of how many POP systems they will have just for one store, the different terminal. And that's why even them, now, you guys are seeing how serious this thing is. Since even from the level of the house DLC, make sure you follow the standard or guideline that they have to make it mandatory, both the PCI DSS as well as a PC CCF, right? The importance of compliance is not just about following the rules. And that's also people think, oh, I just want to stay in compliance. We're going to follow the rules. No, it's not about following the rules, but about protecting both the organization and its customer from the consequences of data breaches, fraud, and financial losses. PCI DSS compliance ensure that sensitive cardholder data is encrypted, accessed only by authorized individuals, and stored securely, among other requirements, right? PCI DSS and PCI SSC software standard alignment. This literally covers everything that we've spoken. The vendor begin developing software according to the secure software standards, that's the SSC. The software undergoes testing by a qualified assessor to ensure that they meet all PCI SSC requirements. So even at the process of developing that software, you have to go through a validation process. Do you see? E.g., protection of cardholder data, secure development best practices, and then PCI SSC validation. That's the PCI software secure software standard. This software is then validated as by by the PCI SSC. The organization using the software must ensure that it is properly configured, secure, and ensuring updated to meet the full PCI DSS requirement, encryption, access control, to name a few. And the word of the common as well as testing. The software is continuously monitored to ensure it adheres to PCI DSS standard. For example, after installation, the organization regularly tests the system, firewall rules, and encryption protocol is to ensure that the software still operates securely. So do you see? Not just about, remember, we're talking about all the different software that are being built. So if it has to collect credit card information or debit, then they have to do so, make sure it actually adheres to the PCI DSS as well as PCI SSC, that's the secure software standards. Validated software. Validated software refers to payment software that has been evaluated and meets security requirements set forth by PCI software, right? Payment software is any software used for processing, storing, or transmitting payment data, credit card or debit card information, right? Validated payment application, PADSS, a payment application that complies with the Payment Application Data Security Standard. Now we are talking about application, which ensures that the application is secure for handling payment card data. Validated payment software, software that adheres to the secure software standard set by PCI Secure Software Standard, right? Ensuring it has been developed with secure practices in mind. You see? Where to find this? These software applications are listed on the PCI SSC website as validated payment application or validated payment software. So depending on which one an organization is going with, then you can go to their website and should be able to get the guides or, the requirements as to how you go about, developing and making sure you are also in compliance. But why does this matter? First, it ensures secure development, right? Validated software has undergone a thorough evaluation to ensure that it has been developed using secure practices. For example, the software incorporates essential security measures such as encryption for storing account data, improved validation to prevent secret attack or injection, as well as secure error handling. Then we have the third aspect of trustworthy software. Using validated software helps organizations trust that the software has been built to protect sensitive payment information from security breaches as well as vulnerabilities. Then talking about the validation process, how does it really work? This process involves a thorough evaluation or assessment of the software by qualified assessor, QSA, to verify that it meets PCI SSC security requirement. But what are the steps involved in carrying out this validation? First, the software is tested to ensure that it adheres to the PCI SSC security standard. The software is assessed against requirements such as data protection, access control, secure transaction processes, to name a few. And what's the outcome? Only after passing the validation is the software listed as validated payment application or validated payment software on the PCI SSC website. Do you see? So you have to go through this thorough assessment, validation, and once they feel like, okay, you know what, you met all the requirements or meet all the requirements, then you can be listed, and that's how people can even entrust your services. And this now, start talking about third-party vendor risks. These are some of the things that you're going to be asking questions to know better, right? So qualify software vendors. The secure software lifecycle standard define the security requirement that software vendors must follow throughout the entire lifecycle of their software. This includes the development, maintenance, and decommissioning of software used to process, store, or transmit payment data. Key focus, ensuring that secure software development practices are integrated into every phase of the software lifecycle, from initial design to development and ongoing maintenance. But what are some of the requirements of software vendors? First, vendors must adopt secure software development practices at every stage of the software lifecycle, which include, this is exactly what I said, I'll take some time and I'll have to create videos for this, right? The designing phase, designing the software with security in mind all the way, as you start, incorporating encryption, authentication, and secure access controls. Developing the software by following best practices for secure coding and regular vulnerability testing. Testing the software to identify and mitigate security risks before release. Maintaining the software with regular security update and patches. Decommissioning the software securely when it's no longer needed. Ensuring sensitive data is properly erased or migrated. An outcome, the lifecycle approach helps minimize vulnerability that could be exploited by malicious actors and ensure that the software remains secure throughout its existence, right? Then once that is done, we go through the process of listing, where the secure LSC qualified vendors now, you've been approved as software vendor who have been validated by the PCI SSC as, they've met that requirement, and that's why they can list. These vendors are listed on their website as the secure LSC qualified vendors. Why is it important? Now we start talking about third-party vendor risks. Now you really have that listing that even provides some form of trust. You can at least go with that vendor. At least you know that they've gone through a thorough process, right? And it's not just something that they'll just do for like camouflage or doing signal. They take their time to make sure you actually pass on how you failed, right? Everything has to be assessed or validated. Being listed as a secure LSC qualified vendor demonstrates that the vendor follows a secure development process that prioritizes the integrity and confidentiality of payment data. For example, a vendor who follows best practices in secure coding, continuously reviewing the security of their software, and provide regular patches to address vulnerability would be considered a secure LSC qualified vendor. Okay? Example of a qualified vendor. Let's see. A software company that develops payment processing system. First, integration of secure practices. They ensure that the security is a priority throughout the phase of the development. During the design, they integrate encryption for sensitive data. In the development phase, they conduct regular code reviews and vulnerability scan. During the testing phase, because you have all of these phases, like they have different things that are being done, they simulate attack scenarios to identify weaknesses. Do you see? You do it before you can even deploy. And they provide ongoing maintenance with regular security patches to address emerging threats. Do you see? You start all the way from the integration to the design, development, testing, and so on and so forth, right? Then software and PCI DSS compliance. I think this video has been a lengthy one, so I'm going to stop it and then we'll continue from there. All right. I'll see you all in the next.